Hello, and welcome back to Rook Plays Pokemon Yellow. This is part 13, the unlucky number, if I remember correctly. So yeah, last time, last time we got to, what city, like Cerulean City or something? I don't remember what the actual name of the place is. Really, like, I don't feel like a lot of the Pokemon places should be really named cities. They're all like really just towns. It's like we have one market, we have one center, and a couple houses. You are not a city, you're a town. The only exception would be like I think Celadon is the one that was called, the one with like the what is it? The giant like department store. Because like in Japan, like you just have like tons of department stores and stuff, but like they're all over the place. But then it's like, all right, well, this is the only actual city with a department store, so. There's a level 9 Minky. It's stronger than mine. My fried pork rice. But don't worry, it's going to get replaced soon. Probably with a Bulbasaur. Or a Charmander. Whichever one comes first. I don't really remember. I'll look into it after this episode, but right now I'm just going to be... this whole episode is just going to be me grinding. Because you know that I'm a Pokemon trainer and not a Pokemon hunter. It's always like funny. It's like, all right, well, you on a quest to become the best like Pokemon trainer. You're not actually a hunter. So like in theory, it should just be you get a Pokemon and you train that one Pokemon. Because really, that's what a trainer does is they just train things. Hence the trainer part. They're not really supposed to. What I'm doing now is like classic training. I'm leveling up my Pokemon. But you really shouldn't be hunting them. That's not really your job. That's more of a... I mean, unless the Pokemon come to you, like, you can catch them, but, like, really, you shouldn't be, like... I guess if you really wanted to play it in the biggest sense of the word, you wouldn't be catching any Pokemon. Because that sort of goes against the whole trainer thing, you know? Because trainers train and hunters hunt. And then it really brings up a question mark as to who catches Pokemon, but... So yeah, I am going to train up Gara, hopefully get him to level 16. I don't know when he evolves. I think it was like... I think he evolves like level 30. Or like 33 or something. A lot of these like 2 evolution Pokemon, like Rattata and stuff, they take like a really long time to evolve. It's like... to the point where it's like, alright, well, I've had you for a long time. Are you going to evolve yet? And they finally evolve. It's like, yay! I think it was 33. I'm not 100% sure, because I... like, my whole thing with Sandshrew is like... I caught it, and I thought Sandslash looks really cool, but I never got to the point where I actually evolved it. Like, a lot of the Pokemon... like, I'll play Pokemon, and a lot of the times where I would just catch a Pokemon... because I thought it was aesthetically pleasing. I gotta enunciate better. But I never actually, like, took the time to evolve it. I probably used it, like, once or twice and thought, oh, this is terrible. Mainly because, when you catch a wild Pokemon, it's really, really weak. It's only when you, like, level it up a couple times that it becomes somewhat worthwhile. But even then, it was, like... there weren't a lot of Pokemon, like, I caught, like, everything I came across back in the day, but now I'm like, why would I bother? That sounds like such a responsibility. You're just going to take a broom in my PC, So, like, yeah, no, I don't really catch a lot, other than, like, legendaries. Even then, it's like, alright, well, I wouldn't really use a lot of them, like, I played, like, I mentioned, like, my first one was, like, gold and crystal and stuff. It's like, I caught Suicune, I caught the birds, I caught them all, but I never really cared to use any of them in, like, actual combat. Like, when I challenge Elite 4, I'm not going to use, like, a team of legendaries. I'm going to use, like, the Pokemon I trained, because it's like, alright, well, I spent the time and effort, I used the TMs on these guys, and they're like a somewhat higher level than than what you have to offer. Like in the past, I would have caught like I played Ruby, and I never actually Ruby and Sapphire. I never actually got to beating the Elite Four in those games, because what would happen is like I caught Kyogre, and I started with like Marshtomp, so like I had 3 like water Pokemon in my party, and then just random other Pokemon. Like I caught Salamence, I leveled it up, and then my Salamence got wrecked by the other Salamence. I got a Steven, and I had like 1 Pokemon left, and I like ran out of items. Because like my Pokemon would just constantly die, and I have to re-heal them and stuff. And like, so I pretty much had like a terrible team, and then 1 useful Pokemon. So I was probably like under leveled as well, because I think I pretty much caught Kyogre and then ran to the Elite Four. I ran through like the whole cave thing that you have before, because like it's always annoying because you go to like you never just like walk up to the gate and like you can fight the Elite Four. It's always like, all right, well, here's this giant like cave you have to get through and navigate through in order to get to like the starting point, like to get to like where you can fight the Elite Four. Granted, you can heal, but it's like there's this long treacherous like journey where you have to use like all the HMs at some point, except for like Flash, because that's like worthless. And then you like finally you get to it's like, all right. And what always happens is like you get like you have all your Pokemon, you have your party, and then you gotta sack one of them because you're like, all right, well, I need 1 Pokemon to be an HM slave, and it's always like it's never the water Pokemon, because you always have like, all right, well, I have 1 water Pokemon in my party, I'll just teach it Surf, because Surf is the only like useful HM move, I guess, next to like Cut or something. Cut is actually, I think, a decent move, but like Slash, like there are other moves that are better. Like Slash is better and stuff. So like, if you want to like get rid of Scratch, you could, but yeah, it's just like there's just a lot of like worthless moves. Like it's like Gen 2. You have like in like Gold, Silver, Crystal. There were 8 HMs, I think. In this game, I remember correctly, there were 5 in Gen 1, but like in Gen 2, there were 8 HMs, and that was like there were like just like a couple too many, because you have like Flash, Surf, Fly, Cut, which are like okay. Cut you only really need like in the beginning and like a little bit, and if you really want to use like all the get the apricorns and like make Pokeballs with them, even though they're like I later found out they were the most worthless balls you can use. And then like you got some like useless ones, like Waterfall was pretty useless. Water Pool was pretty useless. Was just like another like a water version of Fire Spin, really, and that was like a terrible move to begin with. But like Surf was okay. Surf and Fly, like people use Surf and Fly a lot. Fly was practical because you could use it to get around places, but it was also like a pretty like strong flying move. But then there's like I forgot what the other ones. Let's see. There was you have the 5 from the beginning, and then you have like Waterfall, and then like Water Pool, Whirlpool. I don't remember what else there were, but like there were some other like useless ones. But like it was really weird because like I feel like with 4, like Generation 4 was like the turning point where I didn't really like Pokemon as much. Like it was like it pretty much reached. I think like a lot of people didn't like Ruby and Sapphire. I loved it, and then like you got like Platinum and like Diamond and Pearl, and I was like, no. I mean, the legendaries were pretty cool. I mean, Dialga and Palkia are pretty cool legendaries, and Giratina was okay. But like I just didn't like this. There were a lot of still things I didn't like about the 4th generation. I didn't like the starters to begin with. Like the grass one was just no. Well, I mean, I think it was actually no. That one was a turtle. Never mind. The turtle was okay, but I didn't like it either. Yeah, I didn't like the turtle. I didn't like the monkey. I think I used the fire monkey. And then they had this like useless HM called like Rock Slide or like Rock Climb or something, where it just like climbs up a wall and you get to use it to like navigate stuff, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is it. And I just like pretty much threw the game away. Granted, I don't think I actually played. Yeah, I didn't play it on like. I gotta like switch out. Yeah, Emperor. It's probably a good time to go back and heal at this point. Let's see. Yeah, I think I played. Because I didn't have a lot of money back in the day. I bought like the DS, and then it was like I didn't have money to like buy the actual games for them. So I played like on the R4 because I was like, that's, you know, I'll wait a couple weeks and then I'll play. You know, I don't really need to play the game like immediately. Because I was like getting into YouTube. I think I played, that was like middle school time. So I played mostly on PC, and I was playing one thing and one thing alone, and that was Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. Like, my friend got me into it, which is why I started playing it. And then I started playing some other stuff on it. Like, this is like back in the day we like Dota 1, you know, and stuff. So it was like, you know, this is prehistoric times for some people. But, you know, you'd play Dota 1 or play, like, I never really got into Dota, so I didn't really like it. But I would play, like, I really liked Winter Mall War. Just like the tower defense sort of games. I played that a lot. I played a lot of, I played some tag games. Like, there was Tree Tag. That was really fun. Which, and the Tree Tag is pretty much you are a Trent, which is like an Ent, essentially. Pretty much a tree, like, elf forest thing. A tree spirit. And then there's this, like, meteor that crashes, and there's these 3 giant fire undead monsters that spawn from it, and what you have to do is run. And survive for, like, 45 minutes. Yeah, because that was tag. Like, you would run, you would, like, you could, like, blink, which is just, like, a short teleport. You'd blink into, like, some places and stuff. And then, well, you'd blink into, like, trees. You'd set up a base. You make a little clearing. Start growing, like, trees and stuff. Make yourself a little base. And you just do your best to hide. Like, Fog of War played a huge thing into, like, those sort of games. Which also, like, brings up, like, I remember reading, Alderman of the Sky or something. Like, the light novel before. It became an anime, but I don't think a lot of people watched it. But he was, like, it's pretty much about this guy that bags on, like, the, military system. He's, like, the super tactician. And he just, like, doesn't like the military because it's, he sees all the inefficiencies of it. And he sees, like, they don't bother changing any of it. And there's, like, this one part where they're, like, these 2 people are playing chess. And he's, like, yeah, no, this is stupid. Like this doesn't help you with warfare at all. He's like, what? They're like, what? What do you mean by that? How would you do it? It was like, what would you do then? It was like, I would play with Fog of War. They're like, what's Fog of War? It just means like you'd play chess without knowing like the other person's like where the other people are. Like what you don't want to you wouldn't know where like where the king is, where the queen is, like what moves they've made. Which in theory is more like warfare, like back in the day. And even to this day, I guess. But then it's like, alright, well, you may as well be playing Battleship, because then it's like, you really got to think, like, you got to move your thing around. The only difference is with Battleship is you only win by annihilation. Or I guess you can also play it where it's like most destroyed and stuff. Yeah. Ah, yes. Battleship, chess, and all these games. Games I never really got to play because I didn't really go out very much or have friends I could play it with. So it's like, yeah, happy memories that I never actually had because I never had, you know, people my age to play with. Granted, I did go to a public school, but it's also like, alright, well, you know, you're not going to play chess at school. Unless you're in the chess club. Most of the time it's just like, you know, hi, we go to school, bye. go home, or after school program, whichever one came first and stuff. So yeah, that'll be it for this episode. Next episode, I will probably be doing more grinding. Get guard to a nice level, Alright, see ya.